Good afternoon and welcome to My Harlem Portraits, the show that aims at shedding the light on the fundamental contribution of African Americans to the building of this country and on Black excellence. To represent Black excellence today, we have two very special guests, and we're going to talk about their work. It's The Tropic Sun and His Eyes, having its world premiere at the Tribeca Festival 26 in the International Narrative Competition section. And we are going to talk about that with director, writer, producer, executive producer, and proud owner of the vintage production company Soil Pictures, ELISEE Junior St Preux. Welcome to My Harlem Portraits. And with the star of the film, the multi-talented actor, singer, model, and I would say inspirational role model and mentor, Mr. STEVENSON JEAN. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did I pronounce your names right?
Yes, excellent.
Yes. Good.
Yeah.
So, ELISEE, this is a fantastic movie. It's poetic, the photography, the music, the pictures, the settings, everything is so beautiful. It's very poetic. And still you're telling a story that is not so happy. It has unhappy undertones, let's put it this way. And it is your directorial debut. It is magnificent and is enriched, as I said, with beautiful photography, music, and compelling performances by STEVENSON JEAN and by Blanc Machini. The little boy, oh my God, is amazing. So congratulations, what a kind of start you have. It is inspired by events in your life, right? So what prompted you to tell us part of your story?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. It loosely inspired by events in my own personal life when it comes to reconnection of family, disconnection, and then in the film we're talking about like reconnection. And then I quickly realized that I wasn't like the only one. There's like something very prominent, in our community about siblings running away, fathers not being there, or like it's like a constant, theme that I think occurs. So while I thought I was having this own, singular experience, it was definitely not singular at the same time. So when I realized that this was something that was down on my heart, I had to kind of find a way to write it and kind of birthed this movie, right? Because even in the very first draft of this film, it was always about familial reconnection, and I'm actually now thinking about it, I might as well go read back the old drafts because now I'm really interested on what I was trying to do at that time. But I do know it was always like family, like, right, like towards the end of this film, and it's no spoiler that, he gets, home in some facet. You do meet other members of the family. And I do remember in earlier drafts, those members were always there the entire time. It was like, always in this one, house location. But that was because I was also trying to limit everything because of, budget, right? I was like, if I'm going to do a debut feature, low budget feature, you always hear do it in one location, do it in 2 or 3 locations, just keep it really contained. So that was me trying to keep it contained. But when I do for the location scout, I noticed that I could still keep it contained, but I don't have to stay in one location. Matter of fact, it was probably easier to make it a road movie, than to have it in one location, which had its own other complications because of, you're trying to, when you're out, the movie's like 90% outside. So that's also another thing when it comes to filmmaking. But either way, yeah, I think it's very important for families to reconnect, and I wanted to show that on screen.
And it's a very big theme for Haiti. Very big
Yeah.
theme for Haiti. I
Hmm.
have many friends
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
and it's
Hmm.
you know what's happening to Haiti is to me absolutely unacceptable. Haiti has been the
Hmm.
country, the most proud people. You are the one who defeated Napoleon. You defeated Napoleon, right? And
Right.
you're still paying
Yeah.
France for
Indeed.
that. And that's terrible. So, I mean, I'm all for talking about Haiti. Um, how did
Yeah.
you two, now to Stevenson and to you, Elise, how did you two meet and
Mhm.
how did your collaboration start? Let's start from Stevenson. Tell
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Elise actually met for the first time at the airport. Like physically at the airport on our way to do the film. This is where we actually met physically. But prior to that, we've been speaking through the phone, through Zoom, like we're doing right now. Throughout the whole casting process, through the video audition that I sent for the project, emailing, yeah. And from that we went to Haiti, we shot the film, created an amazing masterpiece,
yeah.
as you can see. And yeah, pretty much.
And Elise,
Yeah. Yeah.
why did you choose Stevenson?
So this film has such a, like you said, there's happy undertones, but there is overlaying somberness, excuse me, at least in the first half. And I wanted to grab somebody that could not only emulate that, but also allows us to heighten that, throughout other elements and, through the camera and things of that sort. And I felt like Stevenson had those elements within him to make it, shine on screen. Because what's really tough is there's not like the first half of the film, maybe for like 6 minutes, there's no words. That's actually very difficult, right? Like to portray someone that is not speaking but also telling a story, like that is a very particular thing to do on screen. And I wanted to, I
Why
always
did you
kind of,
choose to do that? Why did you choose to
because
do
I yeah, I think when someone is dwelled in, like mental illnesses like depression and anxiety, they're either doing two things. They either are not really speaking like that at all, or they are overly, compensating
that?
for the things that they are going through. And I wanted to go with the one on the right because that's the one that I know very well.
Yes.
So it was big for me to kind of put Stevenson Ruben, the character, in that space while we are slowly getting accustomed to the world of Haiti. So I wanted to let it breathe. It's like you guys heard all of this about this country, but let me show you the perspective that I want to show you of this country. So I'm not going to just give you a few shots and then now we're into a whole scene of dialogue. I think we needed time to breathe and actually understand where we are and the people we're, looking at and observing and, the space that we're in and also the tone,
Yes.
like building the tone, which is very melancholy, honestly, at first and very nostalgic. And then we could get into, the dialogue. It is a movie that takes its time to tell you what the story is about. Was that always entirely intentional? No, but am I very proud of that intention through the editing room and such? Yes. Mhm.
You took my
Yeah.
first question away. You have a long intro without dialogue, beautiful
Yeah.
sceneries, music, dance in the ocean that puts us
Hmm.
into the spirit of Haiti and the vibrant streets of Cape Haitian. Why
Hmm.
did you, is that what did you want to convey and how did you feel in doing that,
Yeah.
Stevenson?
Mm. Um, and I'll say quickly of what I wanted to convey is one, I wanted people to know that this movie is like a very quiet film at first. I just want people to be still. Like I think at the premiere, I told people, not I think I do remember that. At the premiere, I told people to be still because I think there's, all the background noise in the world and, the popcorn and all of that. Like I just think people move so fast all the time. there's always so much chaos going on where you rarely get the chance to be still. You know, even when watching a movie in the theater, since streaming is so huge these days, I just wanted people to really just like take a deep breath and then, you know, whoosh, starts the movie because you do start with a lot of water and a lot of memories, you know, and the score is a impressionistic piano score, which composer Elijah Fox did in terms of like it's almost improvisation, you know, to an extent. And I thought if we're doing that and we're moving through and we're introducing this character and letting him just walk through the streets, we're walking with him, you know, kind of reminiscing on where he used to be, but also we're kind of stepping into this space and, you know, dealing with the, you know, also in this realm of nostalgia. A big thing about this film is to show Haiti in this beautiful, rich light that I know it to be. So then, sorry guys, if you find it slow, we're gonna throw a lot of what we shot in there, you know, so you could see the country in this light that we wanted to show it in. So we put a lot more in there and kind of just let it breathe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's very beautiful. It reminded me of Italian movies. I'm Italian. Italian movies in the
Oh
50s
yeah.
and 60s when, you know, the Italian
Mm-hmm.
theater was very good. It really reminded me of that when I watched it. So it's very beautiful.
Oh, thank
Very,
you so
very.
much.
Sorry.
So Ruben plays the is the main character in the film, and me playing Ruben, it was um it was such an amazing and freeing opportunity. Um, and like the scenes in the water and the scenes when he's dancing at the beach, the scenes where he's trying to find himself whilst trying to reconnect back to his family and to his father. Um, yeah, I think that the main word I think that goes that's very similar to what Ruben was searching for, is freedom, you know. And it's crazy how, like you mentioned, you know, Haiti, you know, defeating Napoleon. So I think there's a parallelism between, you know, Ruben's search for freedom and Haiti being the first Black republic to be free as well, you know. So, and also, like throughout the film as well, Ruben and the young boy. One thing that I realized, that I actually put in my notes, that I made sure to serve and to keep that in mind as I was doing the film. You, you can tell that the young boy, because he's homeless, Ruben became his home,
Yes.
and Ruben being depressed and being so closed off and dealing with his mental traumas, you can tell that the young boy became his escape,
Yes.
became his freedom, you know. So that was the best way for me to really that's what I looked at when I played Ruben. And like once I made that mental note and I realized this is what the correlation between the two characters are, you know, like they're there for each other, you know. One is someone's home and the other one is the other person's freedom, you know. Yeah, that's the yeah, it was such an amazing and freeing experience for sure.
That's very beautiful what you just said. One is the home and the other one, and the other one is the freedom. That's
Yeah,
very beautiful. I
yeah.
love that. And I was going to ask you exactly that. How did you prepare to get into this character? Because, I mean, you are playing, I can just throw this in. You are
Mhm.
a very well-known actor playing the role of Luke in the Marvel TV Daredevil Born Again.
Yes.
You are working on New York Fashion Week, Art Basel, with
Mhm.
Solange Knowles, creative director Carlota Guerrero. You are
Mhm.
co-starring with Marvel actor and producer Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
It's totally different stuff from this.
indeed. Yeah.
That is whoa, 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 whoa,
Mhm.
whoa, and this is,
Yes. Yeah, this is
how did you prepare to this?
um preparing for this. I had to get out of the world for a little bit. I
Mhm.
had to get out of the world and just go within. Um, yeah, like because a lot of the traumas that we deal with, a lot of the things that we deal with as human beings, is really within. You know, like if we don't fix within, we won't be able to to fix the outside, how, you know, how we react on the outside. And yeah, it's a lot of chaos in the world, you know, whether it's politics, whether it's uh, you know, capitalism, or just everything in general that in the country, that especially living here in the States. So I think for me, the best way that I had to prepare for the role is really, you know, I had a notebook, just writing down different things that I think about Ruben, how Ruben is similar to me as well. You know, my experience, like living in Haiti as well, being born in Haiti, and his experience, Ruben's experience going back to Haiti as well, and looking at the young boy and then seeing, like I mentioned before, like what is the young boy looking for? What does he need? How can I serve Ruben and really tell the truth about them? Because I felt like telling a story like this, you cannot rush it. You know, the minute you're rushing it, then people would not feel it the same way that you know, you guys are feeling it right now. So yeah, and that's one thing that I love about the film, is that it's still, and it's not rushed. I feel like we're always on goal. You know, we're going to work and we're going to this, we're doing this, we're that. We have to pay the bills. We have to do this. We have to do that. You know, and it's like we kind of feel like everything's crumbling. Everything's on the go. Everyone's always on the go. We have to catch the bus. We have to catch the train. We have to do this. But with this film, and I feel like it's the same way with the people who are watching the film now. It's like they're rushing to get to the theaters, and we're doing this. And then once you get to see the film, kind of sit still, and it's just the breeze, and it's the wind, it's the ocean, and you get a chance to breathe a little bit. And
Yes. It's fantastic because you are anticipating all my questions. It's just like you're reading my mind and telling me. I can ask ELISEE that. How is that near to you?
So I do. So the mental health aspect of it definitely is like derived from a very particular time in my life where I was like very depressed. It was like after college. Like nobody talks about post-college depression.
Yes.
And that is a huge thing, you know, because you graduate, and college, I feel like college is like on Pluto. It is like the perfect world, even though you really got no money, but you're partying all the time, and you have all these friends, and you guys are hanging out the dorms, and you go to class, you know, you get it done. But then when you graduate, it's like it's the real world. You need a real job. You know, you can't keep hanging on your college friends anymore, like going to the university and just hanging out. Like you can't do that anymore. Some people tend to do that because it's familiar and it's able to keep them still in that world. But the truth is, real life is out there. So I, you know, dealt with post-grad depression. That's actually the time where I decided I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be a filmmaker. I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to, you know, make it happen.
Yeah.
But then that is also when I wrote that composition notebook and wrote down to film a movie in Haiti. And around that time, I was very irritable. Like you could not speak to me. Like it was like everybody stayed
2 meters away.
Yeah, I was like, please, like everybody literally, you know, I was living in a 3-3 at the time on the bottom level with two of the guys I went to college with, and very cool guys, nothing wrong with them. But I used to, like, at some point, I was like, everybody stay away from me, you know, lock myself in a room. Everywhere I would go, I didn't want people to really speak to me. I just wanted to do my own thing and just me. And that's a big thing with Ruben too, because I think when you're on a specific goal, and I was on the specific goal of an art, like I wanted to be an artist and I wanted to figure out how I was going to do it. I didn't know where I was going to live. I was living in, you know, Delray Beach, in the Palm Beach, well, Boca Raton area, Palm Beach area. Didn't move to Atlanta yet. Didn't create my production company yet. Didn't, you know, I was auditioning locally in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. I did have an agent at that time. It was just like a lot of things were very unsure. I was kind of cultivating what it was going to look like and strategizing. And I wanted everybody to stay away. So Ruben is similar in terms of like, I have this one goal. I'm just here to do just that. Like, I don't want anything else to get in the way. I don't want anyone else to kind of change what I got going on, or I might crash out. So let me just get there, you know, but that's not the way life necessarily works, right? Like we don't come into this world alone for a reason. If that was the case, we wouldn't be the people that we are. So you got to have people around you. You got to let others in, especially those who have, you know, your best interest in mind. And children is just one of them. Children is just one of those human beings that you can't really brush off because it's not their fault that they may be a little annoying, but they are very innocent and they also are pouring, like they're pouring into you, you know, the truth at every second of the day, you know, and that could change a person. That's why when a lot of people become parents, you know, they kind of change a bit, you know, they kind of see things differently. It actually heals you that way too. I'm not a parent, but I've heard that through my, you know, sisters and friends. So that's, yeah, that will be the mental health aspect is the biggest aspect of what, you know, why I wrote, like how I align with Ruben. Yeah.
The kid, the first thing that
Yeah.
I noticed is that he has this video camera.
Mm-hmm.
First, I thought, well, how can a street kid has a real video camera? So I thought it was a fake video camera. But then
Mm-hmm.
he started to film, and you
Mm-hmm.
showing what he is filming. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful the way it's done. And the video camera is like part of his body is attached to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He never leaves it. What does
Yeah.
that mean? What is that video camera?
It's the life that he wants. You know, it's the life that he wants along with the memories matched into one. You know, like when you are filming something, it doesn't go away. I always used to hear that, you know, video doesn't delete. And I do truly do believe that. And we know that in other ways, right? Like there's no way videos delete. So when you have somebody filming something specifically through a camcorder, which is a nostalgic
Mhm.
device,
Yes.
then you are like directly, you know, emulating, you know, memories. And I think for someone who is homeless, a street kid, and is walking around with his cameras, I know with my DP and I, even in the editing room with my editor, we constantly spoke about what is the camcorder looking at, you know, and we went through a million different things of like, oh, he should be probably pointing in here, pointing in there. And then we were like, you know, we just think someone like him would simply just be shooting people and things, you know, right? Like he just wants to be a part of everything going on. You know, he's a big observer, but he's also like tapping into what he is looking at, you know, so that we wanted to show through the camcorder. I grew up with a camcorder as well. Um, and while he is shooting some of those things as well, the other ones that we see throughout the film that are like vintage clips, not the credits though, that's something different. That is treat. Um, um, I shot those as well, and then we added some new others in as well. So we had 3 camcorders on set, 2 working, 1 now. That doesn't work. That I won't spoil why either. Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. I
Yeah.
really enjoy that. It's
Mm-hmm.
really brings me back.
Um,
Stevenson,
Yes.
when you meet the young boy, and it's so funny because he said, you told him, okay, like he was saying, I didn't want anybody to talk to him. You don't want him to talk to you. And you tell him, I'm going to see because my father, because he's dying, I want to be alone.
Mhm,
And he hugs you
mhm,
really tight.
mhm, mhm,
And you tell me how you
mhm,
felt in that moment doing that scene.
mhm.
And then when you finally you say, okay, you can go with me, but you have to help me to go through the shortcuts. Tell me about it. And you stay 2 meters away.
Yeah.
2 meters apart.
Yeah. So I think in that scene, I think this is when Ruben realized that okay, maybe I do need someone to make this road with, you know, like because I think because his father's dying, um, like if we had to imagine Ruben without the young boy, it would just be him walking,
Yeah, impossible.
right? Just him walking and just like kind of going through all the emotions that he's going through, you know. But the fact that the young boy just hugged him when he said that, I think this is when he realized, oh, maybe I don't have to do this alone. You know, maybe it is okay. I mean, as long as you have to stay 2 feet away, you know, but sure, you know, like we could do this together. Like maybe this is not as bad as I think it would be, you know. So I think yeah, during that time, but filming it was it was just it just felt it was so emotional, you know, to film it and to um the body contact, you know, that we have as humans, you know, a hug or just someone just hey, and the fact that that happened without any words as well, it was just him just
Yeah.
going for the hug, and then like it just like the hug catching me off guard, just like oh, and then something happened during that time as well that um I think he hurt his foot like while filming. I think while doing the running scene,
Ah,
like on set. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. He
Here it
ended
is.
up like
Yeah.
hurting his foot. Yeah, yeah.
The foot thing. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, so us having the hug as well is like it was just more of a reassurance and be like, hey man, like we're here for you, you know, like we're here for you, and it's okay that you hurt your foot, and that's showing your passion as well as you playing the character, and yeah, and these things happen, you know, so him doing it. He was really emotional, like he was really in the moment. So just, yeah, everything was just happening during that day, and everything just served the scene as well to give you guys what you see on the screen right now. So
beautiful. And let's say who Blanc Machini is,
hmm
because Pierre Blanc Machini
hmm
is among the youngest Haitian comedians.
yes,
He formed a wonderful duo with his uncle, known as KB, and
hmm
their mission is to remove stress and give pleasure to people unconditionally. I love it. I had to say that because I need people to know who are these people that are
yeah,
doing this film. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. I want to talk about another moment. We have 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes. Another
Okay.
moment when the woman gives you something to eat, a woman
hmm
that you meet in the streets,
Mhm.
right?
hmm
And ask about your father, and you start telling him what your father didn't do. But he says, no, I just want to have hear the qualities, not the
yeah,
faults.
yeah,
And you make him say, in the end, des fois, il était toujours là.
hmm
Sometimes he was always there.
hmm yeah.
Tell me about that because that's very important. You realize that the thing that you thought about your father, thinking back, are not what you really thought. Tell us a little bit about that. Very
Yeah,
important.
definitely. I'll chime in on that, and I'm sure Elise could definitely speak on that as well, like why he wrote that in the project.
Mhm.
But for me, um, that scene was powerful. That scene was powerful because I think a lot of times when we're talking about someone who've hurt us, we really see their defaults.
Yeah.
You know, we're really looking at the bad times, and we're really, you know, like, man, this is what this person did to me. This is what you know, like I can't believe it, and you know, they didn't do this, they didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then we also we tend to forget the times that they were there, you know,
Yeah.
prior to them having them doing what they did to us, you know. So I think during that scene, it allowed the audience to see Ruben's father as you know, it really allowed the father to be human in a
Mm-hmm.
way, you know, really humanize the father and say, hey, you know, like while while I was going through, he came and saved me. He picked up the vomit with his hands and he threw it, you know, like as a father, that means a lot. You know, of course, like I feel the way that I feel about him, but he did do this for me, and at some point you know, my relationship with him, he cared about me, you know, and he still does, even though he react the way that he reacts, you know. So I think a lot of times I think we have to prioritize seeing the qualities in people, and instead of just seeing the defaults, you know, because we're people at the end of the day. We're not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. And, you know, and I think that was a way of Ruben forgiving his father, you know, like in that moment as well, and realize, oh man, like he's human. And
Yes.
yeah, and we should forgive people, you know, if regardless of what, not regardless of what they did to us, but depending on what they did to us, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
ELISEE.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the human aspect really is it. That was in my mind. Like when there's always this thing that used to bother me is like when you're to kind of flip what Stevenson said about like not thinking about somebody's qualities. There's the backward version of when people are like friends, lovers, or something, and then they ended up either breaking up or not friends anymore. All of a sudden, they have
Mhm.
all of these bad things to say about them, and that's
Right.
all they talk about.
Right.
And I'd be like, but you were not saying none of that when you were with them or when you were friends or when you were guys were together. It's such an
Sure.
interesting human nature thing that we tend to do,
Yeah.
you know, and those two exact things of the drowning and the vomit, my sister saved me from drowning, like literally, you
Wow.
Wow.
know, I'll be damned, you know, if I were to never, you know, act like that's not a thing, you know. I have friends that have picked up vomit with their hands, you know, after me throwing up. I'll be damned if we weren't friends anymore to still act like that did not happen, you know,
Yeah.
like it wasn't a human connection that they saved me, you
Mhm.
know. Like we tend to always think about the bad things when we no longer speak to somebody, but it's also like everybody makes mistakes, but everybody don't come, not no one comes into this world, you know, a bad person.
Yes.
Like the world tends to lean on us and do that to us, and it's how we react. So if you are, I feel like in this film, if you are here to reconnect with this person or at least see him, then you might want to, you know, shift that on its head. I needed something that was going to shift his mindset. No one could do that like a mother. Um, you know, I think mothers just have this instinct, you know, especially for young men, to be able to let them see a different perspective. It's like a nurturement, you know. And this is such a father and son heavy movie, right? Like black men heavy movie. I needed a woman to come in and like lay that down that ground, and shift the narrative and to shift his mind. There's also no rule book for parents.
Yes.
You know, a lot of my friends are becoming parents now, and there's no rule book for them to read, you know, and know what to do and how to be a parent, how to be a good parent. They just kind of go off of how they were raised, you know, and what they see other people
Yeah.
doing. So I also wanted to shine a light on parents and say, hey, like we got to give them grace too, you know, as children, as their children, or you know, as the young people of the world. Like they are doing the best that they can.
Yeah.
I'm sure they came to it trying to do the best that they can. Yeah. Hmm.
Thank you. That beautiful. Came out wonderful. The message you
Hmm.
want to leave, the message you want to leave.
Yes, I
Um,
always say this statement of if generational trauma can be passed down, so can generational healing. I think that's the message.
Thank you. Stevenson?
freedom and forgiveness. Seek freedom, seek forgiveness. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for this interview and thank you for the movie. And thank you, my viewers. See you next Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Spectrum channel 1993 and go to my YouTube channel, My Harlem Portrait. Subscribe, it's free. Thank you for the beautiful movie. And
Thank you.
congratulations for being at Tribeca.
Thank you.
Indeed, indeed.
Bye-bye.